Hey guys, welcome to Split. This one's for the Samsung lovers, and more specifically S21 lovers. So S21 came out in the early part of the year. If you got it, this video is all about the accessories that go with it. I will tell you what I think is important, how useful they are, and maybe rank them at the end of the video so you can decide what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy. Let's get it. So accessories. Sometimes they can be overwhelming and you want to buy everything, but we don't have all the cash in the world. If you do, even at that, there's some things you just shouldn't buy. For the S21, I think they made a step forward, and this is in no particular order, but I will start with the S Pen. So the S21 Ultra is one of the first phones to support the S Pen integration. It has Wacom technology, like what you would typically find in a Note, and that's what sets the Note apart for me. But now they've moved that into the Ultra series. So the S21 supports the S Pen. You can write on it and supports air gestures. I almost said everything, but not exactly everything. It's pretty much convenient. If you're a Note user, you would understand what I mean when you want to take a quick note. You can just write on the locked screen without having to power on that screen. It's really convenient. And if you've never used it, it's something you try, you sort of get hooked on it. That convenience of not turning on or unlocking and just writing on that screen and saving that as a note that you can forward or convert, great feature. Some other features are just gimmicky, like using it as a camera shutter and all that's just lazy. But if you are a Note user, that feature is there for you. However, it's not a perfect integration in a couple of ways. One, it is not housed in the S21 Ultra. There's no way to put it in the phone. It's just not designed to hold it. So you have to buy a case that keeps this, or you're gonna have to keep this in your pocket. And because it's not fully Bluetooth integrated with the phone, it doesn't leave you a message like the original Note series when you leave your stylus behind that says, look, the pen is missing. No, this is not gonna leave you that message. So chances of losing this pen is a whole lot higher. So keep that in mind if you're a Note user and you really want this pen, but it is good to know that that functionality is there if you need it. There is an S Pen Ultra coming out later this year. So Samsung says, or is it S Pen Pro? Pro, right? S Pen Pro, yeah. And that should be able to do everything the original Note pen did. But we'll wait and see how that goes, so fingers crossed. That's number one. Moving on to the next accessory. Pick random. That I will pick SmartTag. Samsung SmartTag. So Samsung SmartTag is basically Tile for Samsung. If you've never heard of Tile, think of it as this little Bluetooth device that has its own battery in it that you can attach to something you think is really important, like your wallet or your keys or your dog, you know, and then you can track them on Samsung Find Everything. Apple has one now, you know, but hey, one person does, next person does, but Tile pretty much started the movement, if I'm not mistaken. And how it works, it uses the network of Galaxy and Samsung Find users around you to locate to the nearest vicinity where your tag is. So even if it's out of Bluetooth range for your phone, it just pings off other users' network to tell you, oh, it's somewhere there. And the great part, it doesn't tell me who that person is, so that person's protected. I don't know that it's Jay, for example, in Oshodi that helped me find my dog. It just tells me that it's in this area, there's a user that has helped me locate it, but it doesn't. So that way we're both protected. We don't know what we're both looking for, but it does help me find it. But that's the regular tag. That's this tag here, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me unbox this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, pocket. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's really small. You can add it to it. Okay, so not that small. But you can put it on your keys and your bag, and it will track it, right? There is a SmartTag Plus coming out. That's more accurate. That'll give you a UI on the screen that points you to exactly where it is, under the table, in the corner by the fridge. That's not the same as this. Samsung wants to charge you a little bit more for that. But yeah, I think if you're in the vicinity of what you're looking for, I think you'll find it. And this also emits a sound. If you're in the area, you can use SmartThings Find to indicate, and it'll beep and maybe give you a bit more accuracy as to how to find this. So that's what it is, really, at the end of the day. It's a tracker. Yeah, it's a tracker. The battery in here is one of those car batteries, CR2032, I think, or is it 3022? 2032. You know what I'm talking about. It's flat. You know, the kid used to put it in your okay. Yeah, sorry, I digress. It'll last a few months, maybe 6-8 months. It depends on how far you use it. But they're easily replaceable. You can just pop a pin in here, pop this open, and swap it out. And that's it. That's that for SmartTag. That's the second accessory for your that came in the Ultra series at the time when the Ultra series was launched. Random selection and cases. Why not? Cases. If you buy a phone and you don't have a case on it, you're either crazy rich or just crazy, right? You've just spent north of $800 to $1,000 buying a phone and you don't want to put some kind of protection on it. Again, crazy rich or just crazy. So and your case should depend on your functionality. For example, if you are one of those S Pen user guys, you definitely want to get a case that houses said S Pen. So you don't have to put it in your pocket and make a hole. So there's a really bulky case here that slides in and the S21 sits in here, but at least you know that pen is here when you need it, right? But if that's not your thing, you can just get a back case. Like Spigen, I've always trusted them. They make decent cases. They're not too fat, not too bulky. I'm getting junk on the table. And they have a polymer setting inside the mesh that protects it, air cushion design, some technicality, go read the website. I don't work for the firm, but they do good work, right? So if the back cover is your priority, one of these covers would be the way to go. And then you, of course, typically you would need a screen guard. Now screen guards, are they the biggest scam on cell phones, or are they the best thing that have happened to cell phones? I don't know. There's a couple of videos I would like you to watch. Because have you ever noticed when you put a screen guard on your phone, you didn't drop the phone, you didn't hit your keys on the phone, and then it cracks. And you're like, I didn't do anything to it. Oh, would my screen have cracked? Is that possible? Chances are your screen probably would have cracked. No. I debate this with someone all the time. Yeah, like most iPhones, well, back then, guaranteed sapphire. Your screen protector wasn't sapphire. So yeah, chances are that plastic, hardened plastic glass is gonna crack is really much higher than your sapphire screen cracking. But it does give you some kind of peace of mind that those nicks and scratches that could have gotten onto the phone was on that piece of plastic that is protecting your screen. So I'm not knocking it. I think it's, again, you paid a lot of money. You should give your phone as much protection as you can. So a case and a screen guard would go together, and depending on how your functionality is, will determine what type of case you would buy. Moving on. I've been avoiding this, right? This is 25 watt power adapter. Why is this an accessory and not in the box? Because Apple started a trend and said, oh, we're trying to save the planet. We're gonna take your charger out the box. You probably have one at home anyway. And Samsung says, why not? We should do the same. So when you bought it, if you have it or you haven't bought it yet, surprise, surprise, there is no charger in the box. But I think during the early pre-orders, Samsung was sending this out for free to most people who bought their S21 anyway. Kudos, Samsung. But typically, you'd have to buy this separately. It is a 25 watt charger, not 45 like the old Ultra series, because the phone doesn't support 45 anymore. They've optimized the power units, the chips are better now. It just needs 25 to charge at almost the same speed. I think at 30 minutes, you're gonna get at 54%. Just over an hour, then you get a full charge off these. So, but keep in mind, it's not in a box. You're gonna have to buy one of these, right? You want to see what it looks like. There's nothing special. It's just a brick. Again, like I said, the company thinks you most likely have a charger at home, which you can use to charge something will, but that logic doesn't follow, in my opinion, because if you had an old phone and you gave it away, you most likely gave away the charger. You know, you're not gonna just give it away. So, yeah, they just want you to buy more accessories from them. I guess they're not saving the planet. Yeah, sue me. Okay, I called it. That's my word. I'm sticking with it. You guys make multi-billion dollars. You can afford to put a charger in the box. Moving on. The Galaxy Buds Pro. All right. I mean, listening pleasure. Who doesn't like great music? These are the successors of the Galaxy Bud Live. Remember these? Yeah, the open ear design for Samsung's Galaxy in-ear sounded good, but wasn't the open ear. You couldn't get that seal for good bass feedback. Spoiled some levels of experience for me, especially in some genres I listen to. But this sort of changed that. The 11mm drivers, the sound tuning by AKG is much better here. The seal is still a fundamental bit of a problem. I'll explain. Because it doesn't have wing tips that you can adjust, it only has the inner ear seals. So if the body doesn't fit you perfectly, and it has happened in some instances, you may never get a perfect seal. So the active noise canceling just will not work perfectly for you. But in most cases, it does. It has taken the shape of, similar to the Buds Pro casing, instead of going back, the Buds Live casing, instead of going to the Buds Plus from the old generation. But the buds themselves are, yeah, they look really nice. They do look really nice though. I mean, they fit my ear perfectly, but I have, when I tested it with some of my friends, it didn't fit perfectly. But I think those are just exceptions because they do look really nice. Like I said before, if you compare them to, this is their predecessor, the Live, right? This is where it comes from, right? This is their predecessor, the Galaxy Buds Live. These ones are a bit more ergonomic. These ones are the Beans, right? The Galaxy Beans, but they're open ear, so you can get a perfect seal like I said earlier. But let's move on. I'll do a comparison in the full review. You can check out the review of this up here if you have the time, okay? Final accessory that I think is important would be a smartwatch. And in this case, I'm just gonna save you the time. If you're using an S21 Ultra, just buy the Galaxy Watch series, preferably the Galaxy Watch 3. It is one of the best smartwatches on the market, period. And for the Galaxy S21 Ultra, it is the best smartwatch to pair, period. No, in my opinion, but you can check out the review here. But in my opinion, that's just the way to go. It's so good that Google is now partnering with Samsung to create their next smartwatch to be more like this. And who would blame them? If you look at this watch, they've done some things very correctly, like the rotating bezel, right? That keeps your hand away from the screen. Ties in the OS is very stable. It's not RAM heavy, works great. The App Store is on point, support for watch faces, and so on and so forth. It has accessories that fit just great regardless of what you're doing. Where's my watch strap? Yeah. So it has, and it comes with actual leather straps, right? So if you're going to the office or whatever, you can swap out your sweaty plastic band and go with leathery bands. And that's it. And those are the main accessories. So what I'm gonna do now, I will tell you what I think is primary or most important to focus on, and then what is secondary and optional, depending on your pocket anyway. Samsung accessories. And like with every ecosystem, like Apple, you buy something, they want to put you in the ecosystem, they want you to buy more. In my opinion, what would be primary, what comes first? If you buy this, like I said, you spend north of $800 to over $1,000 to buy a device, you need to protect that device. Cases are gonna come first, right? And they're not even the most expensive things on the list, so it's just practical to protect that device from falling or whatever hazard. I know it does come with some kind of warranty, but that's primary. There's no debating it. That will go hand in hand with a screen guard to give you some kind of peace of mind. In my opinion, this is cream of the crop. That is the first thing you should do on your phone if you need to buy an accessory. Now the secondary is where we all are gonna disagree. If you're a Note person, right, and you're looking to get a new Note because the Ultras are what they are now, the stylus would be priority for you if you're in that niche category. But if not, this is optional. This doesn't come in the box, your 20-watt charger, but chances are you do have something at home. It is USB-C, so you will charge it, whether it's your laptop, whatever. So again, not do or die. SmartTag is a nice to have, but if you haven't lost your dog yet, chances are you're doing very well. You should be able to find a dog. Just ask your neighbor. They usually poke nose into everybody's business. They know where he went or she went. Not life or death, all right? And this is not even the Pro that'll pinpoint it. So again, not life or death. Music, I think they're really important in my opinion, right? Because you don't want to always have to bring out your phone to answer and listen. So they would come over the charger and the SmartTags in my opinion. And the prices in between that. Why the watch isn't there, because it is very pricey, even though it does give you the advantage of looking at messages, responding, taking calls, but still it is quite pricey. And if you do have the money, yeah, I think this comes to the fore over the adapter and the SmartTag. But if you don't, that still stays back there in my opinion. And that's how I'm gonna rank them. but these definitely come up front. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know how you were gonna rank them in the comments below. I will see you in the next video. Try and watch all the reviews for most of these devices. If there isn't one, we'll just post one soon anyway. You guys be safe out there. Keep washing your hands. Take care.